Hello and welcome to today's video. Over the past couple of years, we've helped over 300 organizations set up their CRM and project management system within Monday.com. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over an important framework of how every organization should set up their Monday.com account and how they should strategically think about each step. So most of the time, we recommend our clients starting off with Monday CRM because most service-based businesses need to be tracking leads and making sure that there's no deals falling through the cracks. And you can also have your project management system within Monday CRM as well. Now, one of the most important things that people don't really go over, especially when it comes to Monday.com tutorial videos, is how you should think about structuring your Monday.com account. Now, every organization needs to map out their processes prior to setting it up because it will really help you build out a valuable foundation that's actually going to provide value for your organization rather than just being a burden. And it's going to save you a ton of time when you're actually constructing the Monday account itself. So I just want to give a couple of examples. Now, since we're going to be talking about marketing in this specific video, keep in mind that every example that I give and provide, you can tailor it to your specific organization. Now, when it comes to the different stages in marketing, I want to start off with sales because this is where a lot of people get things wrong. Now, what are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves? Okay, so when it comes to leads, where are leads going to be coming in from? How will leads be input into the system? Who will be managing the leads? Within what time period do our sales reps need to reach out to a prospect? And what sales stages do we need to track and why? So some examples would be leads will be coming in through the website. Maybe some will be coming in from marketing. So let's say Google Ads, Facebook. Some would be referral. Some would be manual entry. Then we need to pinpoint what do we actually need to do? Well, okay, we need to call the prospect. Maybe some organizations will be sending out emails. Maybe some will be sending Loom videos, whatever the use case. But this is just an example of what every organization should be doing in order to make sure that your Monday.com account is set up successfully and making sure that you can actually follow some type of guideline. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Now, what the hell is going on within Monday? Well, initially, nothing. So let's start off with the foundation. We have workspaces. A workspace allows you to create structure within your organization. So let's say one workspace could be your accounting team. Another workspace could be a marketing team. Another workspace could be sales. But in this video, I'm going to be using a different structure and I'm going to have everything within one workspace. As you can see, we have multiple workspaces here, but it is super easy to create a new workspace. Just click on the workspaces and go to add workspace and make sure to name it something that makes sense. And when people see it, they know exactly what they're clicking into. It could be open or it could be closed, which is for team members who can only join by request or invite. Perfect. Now, the foundation of a workspace is a board. Now we can add a board by clicking the blue plus button and clicking board. Since we're going to be using a marketing agency as an example within this video, I want to go back to the processes which we have mapped and take a look. Okay, so I see that the first thing is the CRM, so lead intake. Perfect. So I'm going to go back to Monday and I'm going to create leads and opportunities. Now we see that we have some privacy settings, which is main, so visible for everyone in your account. Private for working privately, alone, or with selected team members, and shareable. So for example, if you have freelancers, subcontractors, whatever the use case, you also have some additional capabilities of adding things like budget, employees, campaigns. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to be starting off with scratch. Now, an important thing to note is that there's also templates within Monday.com, which are preset, and we can access them by going to workspaces, click on the blue plus, and access the template center. And we can take a look at the left for different types of industries and just feel free to explore these and see if they're going to add any type of value. There's some great templates out there as of today, but again, I want to be showcasing a solution from scratch. So now that we've created our board, we have a couple of things here. So we have groups and we have items. Now think of a group as a folder. So in this case, this is going to be new leads. And if we go back to our document, what do we have next after leads? After new leads, we actually need to do a discovery. Then we have proposal, and it's extremely easy to add a new group. Just click the button, add new group. And then we have proposal. Then we need to create another one, which is one We also need lost. Perfect. Now that we have our groups in line, which is again following the document which I showcased earlier, our processes since we already mapped them out, we have new leads, discovery session, proposal sent, won, lost. Okay, now what do we have? Well, we have items. So in this particular case, a new lead could be a person or an organization, depending on how and what type of clients that you work with. But for the sake of this example, I'm just going to be using names. Perfect. Now we see that we have different columns within Monday.com. So item is a column, person is a column, status is a column, date is a column. Now there are a lot of amazing columns within Monday.com that I really urge you guys to go to more columns and take a look. So we have status columns, label columns, people columns. We have dozens of columns. But the key factor here is understanding how these columns work and what are the most used columns. So in this use case, what type of columns would we need? So in most cases, let's say a CRM solution might need some files. So let's say after the discovery session, the client sends us some type of documentation, or this is a perfect place to also store your proposals. Now, one of the most important columns within Monday.com is the status column and the person column. Why? Because we need to make sure that there's no chaos within our organization. Now, let's say John came in as a lead, and as of right now, as you saw, I input everything manually, and I'll show you how we can actually import and have a form when a client or prospect inputs their information within that form, everything will automatically be logged within Monday.com. But as of right now, I just want to show the person column and the status column. So what is a person column? Well, this is a perfect way for you to assign someone for that specific account. You need to assign the sales rep that's going to be reaching out to John. So for example, I want it to be Emil, which would be myself. So keep in mind that we can also have multiple people within the person column. So let's say that I want Emil's manager, the sales manager, to also be on top of Emil's work, and I'm going to be adding the sales manager as well for this example. Now, as of right now, the statuses that we have are working on it, done, and stuck. So this is not really effective for a CRM, and it is extremely easy to modify this. We just click on the status and edit labels. So let's add some new labels just by clicking on new label. So let's say a new lead comes in. Someone needs to reach out to John, so we put the status need to reach out. So for Maria, it could be that she never picked up the phone, so we have a status reach out again, and we can set reminders to our sales team to reach back out to Maria, which I'll showcase in a bit. So the status column is extremely important, and this is where you need to really think about what are the stages in the sales pipeline that you guys need to be tracking. And keep in mind that you can have multiple statuses. So for example, we can just add a different status, which could be something else. So this makes it extremely easy to see, okay, which prospect was actually qualified and which isn't. And we can also set up valuable automations. We can just click automate. And again, there are templates which we can use, but you can start from scratch. So let's say when qualification changes to not qualified, then we move it to lost, because it is extremely important for our CRM to be filtered out and clean. So we create this automation. I'm going to be going over automations in a bit. I'm just giving you a quick example. And now if Maria is unqualified, not qualified, and we can see that she automatically gets put into the lost group. Perfect. Now, the date columns are also extremely important because we can set up a ton of automations based on them. So, for example, I don't want this just to say date. I wanted to actually say when the lead came into the system. So lead created is when we actually input him within the system. So now we can know, okay, so since this person came in from January 17th, why haven't we closed him? Why haven't we reached out? Whatever the use case. So again, go to the add columns and just explore the different capabilities and the functionalities that exist. You're probably going to like some more than others. mindset to have here is we're looking for simplicity, and we need to make sure that this is extremely effective for our sales team to use. We want them to know everything with a glance, and also for our managers or the owners within the organization, because that would then allow us to create important dashboards and make sure that everyone knows exactly what is going on within the organization from a CRM standpoint. Now, a key feature to have for your CRM is the form capability, and we can add a form by clicking this plus top left and go to form. Now that we've accessed the form, what we want to do is edit the form, and we can edit the form by clicking the edit form button. And then we can modify this to our desires. So if you want to add new questions or any type of functionality, just go to add content. And for example, I want the phone number of our leads to be within the form because I want that within our CRM. And an important thing is click on the question setting and make it required, because the phone number is essential in order to have our sales team to actually reach out to the prospect. You can also add a quick description by add description. So if you don't want a question within the form, just click on it. For example, lead created, but I don't want any type of documents in here for now. So I'm just going to click delete. The beautiful thing about Monday Forms is that we can also have conditional logic. So a good example would be go to add content and let's say single select. So I want one option to be, so actually let's start with the question, which is, have you tried any type of marketing prior? Yes. No. I want to delete this. So then we added a short text again by clicking add content, and I want to connect this logic. So just an example, were you able to generate any business? So I only want people who have tried marketing before to see this question. So I want to go to logic and connect them. Have you tried any type of marketing prior? Yes, and only show this question if. Perfect. Now this form is not ready, and keep in mind that you can add your logo, you can have descriptions, and you can really customize it. Then let's go to preview and let's test it out. So we can see that all the information from the form was automatically populated in here. So of course, I'm just showcasing the functionality, but when you're building out the form, really think about the crucial information that your sales team needs. Now there's a couple of valuable automations that we can input within our system. And again, we can just click the automate, create automation. And when this happens, so when an item is created, I want to assign a person so now if someone submits the form or if I add something manually, I'm assigned to that lead. Now since I'm assigned, I also want to get a notification to make sure that I never miss out on a prospect. Now this is a great automation. So when the item is created, which means that when a lead comes into the system, Emil is assigned as that person. Now, keep in mind that person could be sales rep, for example, associated. And you can see that it automatically switches into the automation as well. So again, I want to make this as easy for my sales team. So another automation would be when an item is created, then set the status, since we currently have the status in there, to new lead. And I want them to see with a quick glance what is a new lead and what isn't. Now I'm going to show this automation in a second, but I also want to notify my team. So create automation. And when a person is assigned, then I want to notify. Phone number. And just click on phone, their name, Let me just choose the person. So let's create the new lead. And again, this could be manual or from the form, which would be an automation. And we can see that the sales rep is Emil. This is a new lead because it'll allow me with a quick glance to see which is new and which isn't. And I also got an email notification, their phone number, and everything that I need. Perfect. Now, I'm not going to build out a whole CRM system, but it should look something like this. So move to funnel, time to convert, how long it's actually taking us to close a deal, when we had our initial call, company, title, lead source. And then we can also build out a dashboard when we have everything within our CRM system to let management actually have everything that they would desire with just one click of a button. Now we need to follow the same structure for our delivery. So we need to, again, map out all of our processes. So a good example would be install Google Ads conversion tracking, set up Google Tag Manager, test Google Ad Pixel, verify UTM parameters. And again, we can have the same exact automations, assigning people to the right task, making sure that we're collaborating and we have internal communication. Now, if I want to have some type of internal communication, there's a couple of ways I can go about this. The first one is just clicking on the task itself and then writing an update. Hey, Peter, I need help. For example, update, and then we can see if the person is actually seeing it, they can like it, they can reply, and this really helps. We can also send out emails from monday.com. Ultimately, this just really helps with internal communication and makes things much easier. Again, we can see that we have multiple status columns. So priorities, what's a priority? We have different phases, so tracking, campaign strategy, ad account structure. Again, this is why it's fundamental for every organization to map out their processes. Now, again, this is what a build should look like. Feel free to experiment within your account. And again, it is essential that you map out all of your processes so you know how to structure everything. As you can see here, we have a CRM, leads, funnel, client directory, the sales dashboard, project portfolio, work management, social media calendars, and much more. Now, if you are interested in having professionals set up your project management and CRM system, do not hesitate to reach out. We're always here for you. We provide free custom demos as well, so you get to experience the whole build prior to having to invest a single dime, and everything will be tailored for your processes and your organization. I hope this video provided you with some clarity and some ideas on how to structure your account and how you should be thinking about things in the long term. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.